Welcome everybody to our Monday night shiur. Hashem alechem bichyu. First of all, our shiur, we're a very special Shabbat. Parashat Hayei Sarah is considered one of the most holiest Shabbats of the year. Mamash kaka. And I want to first, last week unfortunately, whoever's watching this, I forgot to thank the sponsors of the shiur. So first of all, for last week's shiur, thank you. And for this week's shiur, to all the sponsors, I want to say Ariel ben Miriam, Gabriel Chai ben Reuven, David ben Sarah, Achman Arizal ben Adin Avracha, everybody who gave, who chipped in, Hashem yivarech otam b'zivuk hagun. Amen. Hashem yivarech otam b'parnasa tova, ashirut mufleget, yeshua gdolot, refuah shlema. That may Hashem open up all their drachim leTorah v'libracha.
Amen. Amen.
It says, whoever wants to fill flasks of wine, whoever wants to, back then, wine making was a very big industry, private industry. Today it's something that's done by
commercial.
It's commercial, exactly. Back then, the Gemara, a lot of Chachamim used to make wine and sell. Rav Huna was a winemaker. In the Rishonim's time, Rashi was a winemaker. Many tzaddikim. Rav Papa was a beer maker. Used to make beer for a living, right? Why did he pick beer and not wine, by the way? Just a side point. No. Because wine could be yayin nesech. If a goy comes in, this, that, all their wine was not mivushal.
Yeah.
They wouldn't cook the wine, right? So he picked something, it wouldn't be a problem, mivushal, not mivushal, yayin nesech, he picked beer. Beer was a big industry. They used to make hops out of dates back then. They used to ferment dates and make hops out of it and make beer. Rav Papa was very big at it. He was very rich. It was a big thing in Iraq back in the day. So the Gemara says whoever wants to fill his house with wine, fill Talmidei Chachamim's throats with wine. Whoever wants to fill his house with food, fill Talmidei Chachamim's mouths with food. Why? The Gemara says that everything that we do today is corresponding to Beit HaMikdash. The whole shul that we're sitting in today, this is a mini Beit HaMikdash. The Hechal is Kodesh HaKodashim. The Teva is the Mizbeach. The people who come in, they're bringing the Korbanot. You're bringing a Korban by Davani. You're in a mini Beit HaMikdash. Today we don't have a Mizbeach Hagadol, the big Mizbeach, so you're the Mizbeach. When a Talmid Chacham eats food, he fixes the food, and automatically he brings up the Shefa, and he causes a ripple effect, Midah keneged Midah, that down here in this world, the person who gives it to him, he's also going to get that Shefa back, B'kiflei kiflaim. One, for doing the mitzvah of giving it to him, and second, because he gets the same exact mitzvah as if he did it himself. So he gets B'kefer, the Talmid Chacham, right? He only gets the mitzvah for doing the limud Torah, for eating, right? But the person who sponsors him, he gets the mitzvah as if he ate it, and for giving him, for twice it, b'kiflei kiflaim he gets. So it's a very big zechut, and I'm quoting to you a Gemara. So everybody who gets the shiur, Hayei Sarah, it's a very short parasha, but a whole amud, a whole page of the Sefer Torah is dedicated just to a conversation, the double of a conversation. That means a repeat of a conversation of Eliezer, Eved Avraham with Lavan HaArami. And if I would tell you guys what's going on in that conversation, Ba'olamot HaElyonim, you would jump from excitement. The Torah spends twice the Yeriot. That means it wasn't enough that Eliezer spoke to Avraham. Now he repeats the whole story to Lavan, and the Torah saw it fit to repeat the whole story to tell us what's going on between Eliezer and Lavan. And it's a very big connection. Lavan's Shorish Nishama is a very big Nishama in Shamayim, and Eliezer's is a very big Nishama. So before we start the shiur tonight, I just want to tell you one chidush that me and my son thought of today, together while we were learning the parasha. We thought of a chidush. I want to share it with you today. It has to do with Eliezer. And Bezrat Hashem repeated on their house on Shabbat, if you remember it, obviously. And if the Chidush is not real, the Chachamim say the craziness is with me. May it be wiped out. But this is our Chidush. It says, the Midrash says, we will talk about Shidduchim in a second. I just want to say the Chidush. That was the thing of this year. That Eliezer is Og. Everybody knows the famous Medrash, right? Eliezer is the king of giants. Og Melech HaBashan. It's a famous Midrash. It's not one Midrash. It's a couple of Midrashim. Said yes or no? You heard this before? Yeah. Eliezer is Og, the king of Bashan. Not only that, there's a Midrash that says that Eliezer is the son of Nimrod. He's Kushi. He's a Kushite. He was black.
Yeah,
there's another Midrash. So he's the son of Nimrod. And he's the
king of giants.
He's the Og. Now it's a big problem because if he's the king of giants, how is he son of Nimrod? That means he had to be from before the flood. The Gemara says he was the grandson of an angel called Shamchazai. There were two angels called Azai and Azael. They had immoral, illicit relations with the women of the world. And from that relations came out Nephilim, the fallen ones. Nephilim gave birth to Rephaim. One of those kids was Og. Og and his younger brother Sichon. Right? You remember those two names, Og and Sichon. So we see, so it's a couple of contradictory midrashim over here. So a person who just learns the midrash at face value, what does he say? Well, listen, Og is Eliezer. What more do you want? Og is Eliezer Eved Avraham. And it makes a bit of sense. Why? The Torah says that Hashem wiped up all the creations of the world. The Gemara adds a footnote over here, in the Mabul, obviously. So Noach went inside a teva, and the Midrash says Hashem wiped up the whole world. Hashem brought down the Mabul, says the Midrash, and the Ari writes this down in Shara Likutim, in Shara Psukim, to kill the descendants of Cain. The Cain's descendants had to be wiped off the earth. They were messing up the world. Even though they had all the innovation, they brought music to the world, they brought parnasah, being shepherds to the world. They were innovators, they were inventors. They had to be wiped out once and for all. Hashem brought a Mabul to wipe them out. Noah, who was a descendant of Sheth, he survived. The Gemara says, footnote, Masechet Sanhedrin, Og had a little bit of emunah. You know, Noach was yelling for 120 years, do teshuvah! Happens to be there was one giant who took this to heart. His name was Og. He was a young giant back then. He was a baby giant. Paul Bunyan. And he decided to listen to Noach. He said, Noach, let me in the teva. I swear to you to be your servant from today to the end of January. To your descendants, I'm your servant. I'm your Eved. Noach said, listen, I can't let you into the teva. It's a famous medrash. Gemara says this, Masechet Sanhedrin. I can't tell you the daf right now, I'm sorry, but ask me maybe tomorrow, I'll tell you the daf. And he said, I can't let you into the teva. Hashem said, only me and my children, 2 of every animal, and 7 kosher animals, they go inside. I can't let you on. So he said, can I hang on to the teva? And Noach said yes. And the Gemara says a miracle happened. The waters that were coming out of the earth were fire. It was lava. They would burn everything. The water that touched Og was cold. He survived the flood by holding on to the teva. From Og comes out what we see in Parashat Lech Lecha, the Rephaim. Remember Nimrod and all of his army, the 4 kings, they went to fight Sodom and Amorah. On the way, these little puny humans, they come to the land of Rephaim. Og's descendants, he also made children and they were all giants. Now if you tell me right now giants don't exist, just do a small Google search, if you have Google obviously. I don't recommend it, but if you do and you go on for work purposes, do a little Google search. Are giants real? And you're going to find from all the goyim in the world, proof. In all the legends, the giants existed. They have bones. Stonehenge in Damascus, for example, in Damascus, they have huge ton of bricks put together as a house and the size of a giant, about 20 feet tall. And Og was 9 amot long. 9 amot is about 20 feet. 20 feet tall. There is a video online. Our cameraman showed it to me. The video itself is in, if it's real or not, there's a big question over there. About 150 years ago, about a Japanese giant. About 15 to 16 feet tall. You see the guy is huge. He was the guardian of the Japanese royal family. Yeah, you see Mamash he's like 15 feet tall. And by the way, all those legends of Jack and the Beanstalk and all that, that's all fake. It's really Jack the Giant Slayer. The English people, they have legend called Gog Umagog. Believe it or not, it's about 1,000 years old. It's called Gog Umagog. It's a story of two giants that fight each other. So if the Torah says there's something called giants, Eliezer, I think it knows what it's talking. We don't need all these legends and this and that. Who knows what they're saying? We have a Torah, Divrei Elohim, Chaim. We don't need anything like that. But we do know one thing. That when Kalev ben Yefuneh and the Meraglim came to Eretz Yisrael, in Hebron, they found over there Anakim. Anakim means giants. Achiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, Yilidei Ha'anak, the sons of the Anak. And guess what? Another name for Hebron, this week's parasha is what? Kiryat Arba. Why is it called the land of the four? Because 4 giants lived over there. Anak and his 3 kids. Now, what happens is, this Og survives, he gets a Brit Milah. How do we know he has a Brit Milah? Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm all building up to the Chidduch that me and my little one talked about in the parasha. Chesky, no, he's a bit too young for that. And they said over there that Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid of Og. Why? Because he had a Brit Milah. The zechut of the Brit Milah was strong enough to save Og from Moshe. Wow. Just to show you the zechut of a Brit Milah. Unbelievable. It's a shiur about itself. The zechut of Brit Milah. Anyways, Og has a Brit. He's also the Palit, last week's parasha. Who's the Palit? The refugee. Not the Syrian refugees or Palestinian refugees. The refugees from the war of the 4 kings versus the giants. He was the last sole survivor. And he wanted to have illicit relations with Sarah. So he told Abraham what was going on with Sodom. And Abraham goes. But here's the funny thing. If Og is Eliezer, who does Abraham go with to fight the 4 kings? Eliezer. But didn't... So why would Eliezer help Abraham fight the 4 kings if he's Og himself? Doesn't connect. If Og is Eliezer and Og wanted the giant, he wanted Sarah for himself, why did he help, if he's Eliezer now, why did he help Abraham defeat the 4 kings? Because Rashi says he went with 318 guys to fight 4 kings, 4 huge armies. It was a miracle. They took earth, the Gemara, Nachumish Gamzu, they took earth, they threw it turned into bullets and atomic bombs, and it killed them. Spears were raining down on them. Like Gog Magog. The Gemara says it was a precursor to Gog Magog. So the Gemara says, so if Og is Eliezer, why did he help him? The Rashi says it wasn't really 318 men. Rather, Eliezer is the numerical value of 318. And what's the secret through the number 318? 318 is a numerical value, Siach. Where do we see the word Siach first time in the Torah? Parashat Bereshit. V'kol Siach hasadeh terem yitzmach. And all the vegetation in the world before it sprouted, so the Ari says Siach is Shem, Cham, and Yafet. And all their nishamas had a tikkun in Eliezer. Eliezer was at well. Listen, it's not nothing. God repeats his story twice. It's like he has a whole parasha just devoted to him in the Torah. Rather, the Torah said, Ari HaKadosh says, Eliezer. What happens? I just finished the Chiddush. So first question, how is Eliezer Og? Because many rabbis say in the Shiurim, Eliezer is Og. We see from the Midrashim and the Torah, it cannot be. It can't be Og. It's impossible. If Og is the Palit, then why would he help Abraham defeat the 4 kings? Because he wanted Sarah for himself. And Sarah is the 4th most beautiful woman that ever existed in the world. Right? Sarah, you had over there, what do we have over there? Chava, Rachav, and Abigail. 4 most beautiful women that ever lived. Whenever the Torah says she's beautiful, it's not talking about beautiful outside. It's talking about she's a good woman. She's a helper. Eshet Hayel atet bala. But these 4 women were Eshet Hayels, and they also had a little bit to show on the outside. Okay? So he cannot be Eliezer, rather. So what happens? Moshe Rabbeinu, we say at the end, God tells Moshe, kill Og. Al tira oto. What is al tira oto? Don't be afraid, don't be scared. I got you. So the Midrash says Moshe was 15 feet tall. 15 amot. So he's a giant himself. And then he jumped 10 amot. He was a good... Yeah, he was a good sport. He was very athletic. He jumped, you know what jump 10 amot is? And his axe was another 10 amot. And he only reached the ankle of Og. So obviously this Midrash is not literal. It's all kavanot shemot of Hashem. So here is our chidush. Moshe kills Og at it. He hits him at the ankle specifically. He chops it off by the akev, and he rips him off. He kills Og. Another Midrash says that a mountain, he tried to throw a mountain on them, then Hashem put ants over there, Nimalim, and the mountain of ants broke his neck, and then Moshe was able to, by the distraction, Moshe was able to chop off his legs. Moshe kills Og, the last of the giants. What happens to the 4 Anaks in Hebron? So Caleb kills them. Why? Because he's there to take Hebron for himself. Now, here's our chidush. We say that Moshe Rabbeinu is the reincarnation of Noach. Everybody knows this. It's been said 100 times in all shiurim. How do we know Moshe is Noach? How do we know? It says over there, Mecheini na misifrecha asher katafta. Moshe tells God in the Egel HaZahav, you want to create a new world with me? If you destroy them, destroy me. Mecheini na. What's mecheini? How do you spell mecheini? Mecheini. Mecheini is also Mei Noach, the waters of Noach. Don't try to bring the waters of Noach again onto the world, because this time I'm going with them. Noach sinned in his level, by not taking responsibility for the generation. Now you might ask, what responsibility you want him to take? The generation is having the worst averot in the world. It's good that they go. That's it. Kadisha. What do you want from him? Right? Tzadikim. You here to listen or what? So listen. For what they're coming over here? Noach said, it's good that they go. I'm going to give teshuvah, but if they don't want to listen to teshuvah, Moshe said no. I'm here. I'm going to go with them. Hashem said, oh, that's what I was looking for.
You fix that.
I fixed that Avera. He fixed the Avera of Noach and he left. So beside the Shema, I wanted to say Noach had 2 other Averot. One, the Torah says. One is in the Medrash that he saved Og's life. Now, if Moshe is Noach, that means he has to come back and fix his mistake. And who's his mistake? Og. So who has to get rid of Og now? Moshe, because Moshe is Noach. And how tall was Moshe? The Midrash says 15 amot tall. It's a remez. Yud-K. How much amot was the waters on top of the mountains? 15 amot. That's Moshe, who is Noach, and now he destroyed Og. That was the chidush that we came out. Now, how does he fix the drunkenness? That's a chidush we say for next year. Okay. But really, it's a big averah. He gets drunk, and according to one midrash, they chop off his lo aleinu. Listen, it's nothing simple over here. He makes him a saris, and he's Noach ish tzaddik. He's a tzaddik. So what would he establish over here? That Og is not Eliezer. That's what we established. Baruch Hashem, listen. So why does the Midrash say it's Eliezer? For the love of God. Why does he say that? Let me get a tissue over there. Let me just erase the board. Baruch Hashem, teachers have no menucha, lo ba'olam hazeh, lo ba'olam haba. Okay. It says, Kotveh maluach libecha. God wrote the Torah, esh shchora al gaveh esh levana. Black fire on white fire. Says, the Ari says, Eliezer is not Og. We learned the Midrash correctly. Eliezer is the Og is the klipa of Eliezer's neshama. The klipa of Eliezer is Og. Just like the klipa of Moshe Rabbeinu is who? Bil'am. To defeat Og, we have to have Eliezer. Why? Why do we need Eliezer? What does the word Eliezer mean? God's help. Why God's help? Because where does Og come from? From Hashem himself. Who were they arguing with? Ma'adam! Who is man that we should create him? Hashem said, you could do a better job. Go downstairs and do it yourself. And they failed. To defeat Og, which is from Hashem's, that's the angels themselves. They're also Yitzir Kapav Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Who do we need? A man cannot defeat Og. What do we need? Eliezer. The help of Hashem. That's why Moshe killed Og. Why? Moshe ish Elokim. Half man, half angelic, half angel. Only half an angel could kill another angel descendant.
Of course.
Instead, I think we have to change our shiur over here to giants and angels over here. A story of giants and angels. But here's the bigger chidush now. And this we had while we are speaking. We're connecting more dots over here. Who does Eliezer come back as a Gilgul as? Caleb ben Yifune. The Ari says that, yes or no? Shara Gilgulim ben Forash. Caleb is Eliezer. Who kills Og's descendants in Hebron? Caleb.
History repeats itself.
History repeats itself. That means what you're destined to do, you're gonna do it. But what does that also mean? To find Yitzchak a wife, you need somebody above nature. You need an angel. You need Eliezer. You need Hashem's help. You need Hashem's help. To find a wife. Why Yitzchak didn't have a wife? There is an idea in the Zohar Kadosh Pashat Mishpatim. The Ari mentions in Shar Gilgulim, some people don't have a bat zug. Bat zug, every neshama is Yud K, Vav K. A man, he's the Tzad HaZachar. He's the Yud and the Vav of Yud K, Vav K. To complete Hashem's name, you have to put in the Hayes. Yud K, Vav K. Not everybody has that. How do we know that? There's a story in the Torah speaking about our previous conversation. There was a tribe of Binyamin, Benjaminites, Mordechai. They fought a war against all the 10 tribes. Binyamin versus everyone. Am Yisrael said, we're going to wipe them out, to the point that even if somebody is left, whoever is going to give them a wife, we're going to kill their family too. we must destroy the tribe of Benjamin. Why? What did they do? I don't want to say the whole story. They took, it's called Pilegesh Begiva. The whole story is in the last story of the book of Shoftim. Or second to last story. The concubine of Giv'ah. They took this woman. They did whatever that the people of Sedom wanted to do with the angels, basically. And they killed the poor woman. Now, they didn't kill her. They abused her. And then her husband took her the next morning, chopped her up to 12 pieces, sent to all the 12 tribes, all the Sanhedrin, says, listen, look what's going on in Israel. We just came to this land, 400 years ago. Look what's already happening. All the tribe says, en mala'asot, no elections. Democrats, Republicans, and no right, no left. Hashem's word is Hashem's word. They all get up, Urim v'Tumim. We go to war, yes or no? Yes, let's go. Binyamin won the first war. Why? They were archers. Snipers. They knew how to aim. They didn't play Call of Duty though. They knew how to aim. They were killing. They were wiping them out. Boom, boom, boom. They said to Hashem, they didn't lose hope. They believed in Hashem. They fasted. They went to Shiloh. Hashem, why are we losing? Hashem said, Yehuda Ya'aleh. To kill Benjamin, you need Judah. Why? Who's Benjamin's guarantor? Judah. Remember the whole story with Judah and Benjamin and with Yaakov? Yehuda says, I'm going up first. He goes up basically. They show him where the as we say in Hebrew. They ripped the whole tribe of Benjamin apart till there was only 500 men left. Women, kids, everybody. Wipe everybody out. A small Holocaust to the tribe of Benjamin. Everybody. Why? Because when a tribe doesn't want to take responsibility for one family, and where did the whole story take place? In Yerushalayim, in the Yevusi. Yevusi is Yerushalayim. So they said, that valley over there. That valley, in the mountainous region. And what happened was, 500 men, one of those men was Shaul HaMelech. Later on to be Shaul. Now, then they regretted what they did. Am Yisrael, when they saw that they, mamash, decimated them, they said to Hashem, we want to do Hatarat Nidarim. We want to allow them to, but we already swore. We don't want to take our swear back. So they told those 500 men that are left, there is a festival called Tu B'Av. And the girls go there dressed in white. Don't get any ideas. And they go get dressed in white. And when they go there, whatever the girls are, just go there, Gruzini style. Snatch them up. Yalla, next. Go. Don't ask questions. 1, 2, 3.
We gotta bring it back.
Bring it back home. Now, obviously, we're not talking about our days. Don't take me by the tongue. It's that. And so all Gruzini might ask for forgiveness. But that's what happened over there. So the Zohar says, what do you mean? They just went, they just snatched up girls and they left? There was one guy who didn't snatch a girl. His name was Shaul. He was too shy. How are you going to snatch a girl? Mazepo. Bet Cafe? I was going to say Ashkenazi, but if you're going to say Bukhari, I think Bukhari would have snatched one too. So he went over there and he said to her, will you marry me? Actually, the Midrash says she actually asked him to marry her. She asked him to marry her because he was very handsome. He was very tall, strong, nice. Mizera Milucha. He looked like a melech. And he married her. So the Zohar says those 500 men didn't have wives, really. They didn't have any batzugs because they were all killed. The Chachamim told them, Sanhedrin, Balei Sod, go snatch a woman. What does that mean, snatch a woman? Grab her. Don't wait till her Ben-Zug comes to take her. Grab her. So the Zohar says in Pshat Mishpatim, do your best, guys.
Yeah, please grab them.
The Zohar says sometimes a person can have a soulmate, but another guy could be like a tribe of Binyamin and snatch her up.
So guys, stop sleeping.
No, they're a little young. Don't worry, they're just big, like Shaul. They're very big.
They're ready.
Yeah, they're ready. You're saying why? He's giving you cups of food, guys. You gotta come give them a shear once. He's saying they're ready.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Okay. So sometimes a person cannot have a bat-zug. This is exactly this week's parasha. Yitzchak didn't have a bat-zug. How do we know that, says the Ari? The pasuk says when Eliezer is saying story to the Lavan, and Lavan says, I can't do anything. What does he say? Mehashem yatsa davar. From God the word came out. What does that mean? From God the word came out. Hashem created him a bat zug from Har Hamoria. What happened in Har Hamoria? The Akedah. That means Lavan knew the secret of what? Of Har Hamoria. That a new bat zug was created for who? Yitzchak. And who was the bat zug herself? It was Sarah herself. Sarah is Rivka herself.
But she died.
But she died. Her neshama was a neshama of Rivka. Same neshama. Wow. That's why when she came back into the tent, all the three things came back. Because why? The owner is coming back to the tent. All the three things came back. Nida chalav adlakat haner. The cloud came back. The chalot came back. The nerot came back. Everything came back because she is Sarah. That's why it says in the pasuk, Vayinachem Yitzchak acharei imo. Yitzchak was comforted after his mother. From here we learn a very big idea, Rabbi Isai. Don't get too excited. I want to tell you guys a Segulot. We have 10 minutes. I'm going to just end with a Segulot over here. First I want to say a point. I overhear the book Likutei Moran. I don't want to miss this out. We're going to do everything cheek-chak because we spend so much on the Giants. So we have to do the rest of the shiur cheek-chak. I want to say something interesting. A lot of times in a zivug, in a shidduch, in a marriage, a lot of fights happen. Number one fight is because of parents. It's a known thing. For the famous things, we don't need to bring proofs. Everyone knows the parents is the biggest obstacle. And the reason is because look at Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei. Yud in the Vav, which is Abba and the son. Yud and the Vav, not Yud and the Hey. Yud is smaller than the Vav. It's small, it's different. There's a differentiation, right? The two letters in Hashem's name that are the same are what? Hey. Hey is Ima. And the last Hey is the Shekhinah. Kabutabi, in the family dynamic, that's the wife. That's the wife. Because the wife is the same letter as the mother, she always sees her as the competition. Competition. But the Torah is telling us that's natural. It has to be like that. Because for a son to be mitnachem, to be comforted after his mother, his wife has to be very similar to his mom. And look at it, all the mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws that hate each other, they're actually the same person.
Younger version.
They're just a younger version of each other.
And more annoying.
Yeah, I don't want to say that for the thing, but you kind of hit it on the thing.
And more annoying.
They're the same. It's the same letter. If it's your true bat zug, you're gonna see it's the same mishagas. It's the same bayot. What does she has to do? She has to channel that capability that he had in his parents' house, also in his house. But what is his job now? Vayinachem Yitzchak, not to always remember what happened in his mother's house, but what's Vayinachem Yitzchak? And Yitzchak was comforted. He found comfort in his new house. Acharei imo. Yitzchak wouldn't have found comfort, kabutabi, he wouldn't have, if his mother was still alive. Hashem had to take him because he's gvurot himself. He couldn't have found the comfort. Hashem needed to take away his mother to show him, like we say in Gan Eden. Why did Hashem give Adam HaRishon the candy in front of his face and say, don't eat it? Think about it, right? He put a tree in front of his face and he made it the most delicious tree. How? By telling him, don't eat it. And he had 10,000 trees over there. I don't know how much was over there. And he said, eat everything you want. But then he created him right next to the tree. He said, these two, Etz Hadat and Etz HaChaim, don't touch. Don't touch it. Then he says to him, when you touch them, you're going to die. Taking a kid, put next to in front of him the candy and say, you could have all the broccoli and celery and whatever and stuff. Of course, you wash them to be free of bugs. And you tell him, eat everything, just don't eat the candy. He's gonna eat the candy or no?
First thing.
Of course he's gonna eat the candy. Come on. Rabbi Yehuda Ftaya say it was a rigged game. Hashem wanted him to eat the candy. And that's why Adam wrote the song. He didn't write it, but he said this. Eleonora lila mitzilanu mechila bishad. And Adam wrote that. He wrote El Nora lila. He said, Hashem, you rigged the game. Obviously I was gonna eat it. Right? Why did you put me in there? And Hashem gave him a lot of kavzechut. Don't forget, he didn't kill him that day. He let him multiply and then he took him after a day. You're gonna die on that day. That day, Hashem's day, 1,000 years. Well, why did Hashem needed him to eat from it? You know why? Imagine a life that you don't know what's pain. You don't know what's pain. Does pleasure equal anything if you don't know what's pain? What does pleasure mean if you don't know what's pain? It means nothing. It's bland. It has no taste. Pleasure is only delicious because you know what's waiting for you on the other side. For Adam Harishon, his descendants, to truly serve Hashem, they had to know how it feels not to serve Hashem. Because when you feel the world, to you young children, when you feel the world out there, and you see, after you enjoy your teenage years, 20s, and you see, it's all the same nonsense. And then you say, now I'm gonna eat from Etz HaChaim. Now I'm gonna eat from Etz HaChaim. But to really enjoy Etz HaChaim, you first have to know what? Etz HaDat. It's a very big idea what I just said over here. I don't know if you guys go grasp that idea. It's a very, I don't know if I should have even have said that. I said that thought. But I said it anyways. Now I'm going to tell you something. Segulot for marriage. This week is a week of marriage. Whoever wants to get married, we say this every week. This week may you get married. I want to say that there's a Segulot to get the Aliyah where the Rivka says, where Lavan tells Rivka, do you want to go with the guy?
He says yes.
She says yes, but for that you need a date. I didn't say it's going to get you a date. I just said she'll say yes. That's what I said. First you got to get a Shidduch. I think it's fifth Aliyah.
Fifth Aliyah.
Vayomer Elech, she says, I will go. How do you say I'll go in Russian? Ya paidu. Wow, imagine Ya paidu.
Yes, boy.
Yes, no, she didn't say that. Don't take it to the next. Abraham, don't take it to the next level.
What's the difference? What's the difference when she said I do? When the Eliezer said she bring the heaven and she agreed to the. She's thanking God. It's also agreeing.
Yeah.
She runs on the water.
But when she said Ani Elech, the word Elech has a very big power to it. The Aleph Lam Min Chet. Why? Because when Hashem told Abraham Lech Lecha, the secret of Lech Lecha. You see, for example, Hashem's name is Amonai, yeah? In the name Amonai, you have the word Din. What sweetens the letters of Din? The letter Aleph. You have the name Ekyeh. Hashem's name is Ekyeh, Asher Ekyeh. You have the word Haya over there. We know Haya itself is Din. What sweetens it? The Aleph, Ekyeh. What sweetens the Lech Lecha? Lech. The Aleph. Vatomer Elech. She put the Havaya, the Aleph, into the Lech Lecha. You understand? By saying Elech, it was a very big power she brought down. You understand? She was probably the most important woman in the whole Torah. She saved Am Yisrael from Esav. If it wasn't for her, next week's parasha, I don't want to jump the gun, because next week's parasha is definitely the most cataclysmic parasha in the whole world, when she forces Yaakov, the most honest human being in the world, to go against his will and to steal with trickery and to wear goat skin. No, goat is avodah zarah, seir. The Torah says you're going to slaughter to seirim, to wear avodah zarah on him and to go in there to play the game of Esav. It's such a thing, and to fix the sin of Adam Arishon in their aspect. It was such a cataclysmic event, and Yitzchak loved Esav, and the Ari says that Yitzchak knew Esav's kids had to be slaves. Yaakov's sons had to be slaves. And Yitzchak was happy, at least they're going to be slaves under Esav. At least it's a brother. What? Rivka said, a slave? He needs money to learn Torah. You're putting them 6,000 years under bondage? Rivka saved us. And you know what she saved us through? I didn't talk about it today, but this is really the biggest. If you guys, I know I talk a lot of Ari HaKadosh Sunday nights. Remember the whole story, how she takes the kad, the jug, and she takes the water? Wow. The Ari says, what's going on in those sentences? Every time she takes the kad, the jugs, what's going on over there? V'timale kada, 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 kada. She takes the kad. It's such, it's what's going on over there is keter de shechina. You're bringing out the keter of the shechina. It's unbelievable. Rivka was, her name means boker. You know what boker is? Morning. She saved Klal Yisrael in Lavan's house, in Bituel's house. Anyways, I want to get into the Shidduch. We're not going to get into the Rav Nachum the rest of time. I want to tell you the Segulot for marriage. A lot of times. So we said one thing, the Aliyah Chamishi, you guys said, yeah, but Tomer Eleh. And other times, Chas v'shalom, a person's mazal could be tied. Could be tied. I'm not talking about tied for parnasah. I'm talking about tied for marriage. When a person's mazal is tied, Chas v'shalom, you have to know how to open it up. Many tzaddikim were tied. And you know, Bukharians, Ashkenazim, Chabadim, they all believe in this. That's why a lot of people have the minhag in the wedding day, when they walk down the aisle, they open up all the belt, they open up the shoelaces. No, not the pants. The pants don't come down over here. They open up the tie, they open up, just everything should be open. That the kesher, if somebody's doing a kesher over there, I saw once an old video of a Bukharian couple getting married in Samarkand or something like that. Yeah, with the needle thing. I saw that, right? That's called for the kesher. They used to do that. They shouldn't be nikshar. They shouldn't be tied. Rav Yitzchak Kaduri says many people are tied. They're tied. They need to open up their mazal for zivug. Now, what did I tell you? This whole thing, it's possible for a person from the tzad binyamin, he doesn't have a bat zug, to chotef a bat zug. He could take me'otzar motnat chinam. Especially in our generation, I'm going to read you a little Ari HaKadosh over here. Almost all the achiza of the klipa is in women today, not in men. And the reason is that the Satan, says the Ari HaKadosh, is ochez never bapanim. The Satan can't take you from the front. He's a backstabber. He's like that friend that says, say it. Do it. And he stabs you in the back. I didn't do it, he did it. That's people who do that are like the Satan. I have a couple of those. I know a couple of people like that. Yeah. So he says, the Ari says, the Satan likes to suck from the ekev, from the heel. And in the past 50, 60, 70 years, the fashion is when a woman wants to show herself as if she's provocative, she always wears heels. It's called heels, high heels. Those high heels is a remiss for the sucking of the klipa from the ekev of the woman. And we learned in the Ari HaKadosh, the more revealed a person is, the more he shows skin or she shows skin, the more the achiza of the klipa is in that person. That's why all the tzaddikim, the Baba Saleh used to wear a kisui harosh for the love of God. The Moroccan tzaddikim, not just one, two used to wear. Used to wear two kisui haroshes. Why? The Moroccan mukubalim wouldn't just cover their hair. One. They used to wear one and then used to cover it with a hood. Just not to even give a achizat to the klipa, even one bit. And today people come, and especially in weddings and parties, they all come with heels, and just when the men look, it's such a achizah they give over there. And that's why a lot of diseases, cancers and stuff like that happen to the world. Why? Genetics, they say. What genetic? How did the first person get it? The Gemara says 99 with ayin hara and one regular death. What are you going to say to that? What are you going to say to that? Maybe everybody in this generation is supposed to live till 100, 150. How do you know? Maybe you're supposed to live long lives, but we stuff ourselves with the ayin, the klipa over there, and it makes a achiza. And the Ari says over here, you can see Shara Likudim, Parashat Chaye Sarah, in the pasuk Vatakom Rivka V'Narotea, that the klipa has a achiza and the akevaim of a woman. And that's where they put all the klipa out. That's where they put all. It's chaval, because they're bringing on themselves all the klipot. Lo aleinu. Besides, who am I to say today it's taboo to speak about tzniut? If you speak about tzniut, you're archaic. you're chauvinistic, you're a misogynist, you're anti-feminist, said it. But then after 120 years, what's going to happen? You're whatever that means, but yeah, more or less. So I want to tell you guys a Segulot to open up the kesher. Segulot to open up the kesher. Rav Yitzchak Kaduri brings this down. I'm going to say it to you right now. What you need for this is a book of Tehillim. It's better to do this early in the morning. Gabriel is laughing over here. A pot, a small pot to open up the kesher of warm water, and 70 pennies or 70 dimes. 70 pennies or 70 dimes, a little bit. You have the pennies, dimes, you have the pot of warm water, and you have over there Tehillim. And you read chapter Tehillim 113, it's from Rav Yitzchak Kaduri. He says this, 113, you have to read it on the water itself.
And the pennies inside the water?
No, not yet.
Oh.
You were smiling, I thought you knew it. Now I see you don't. So good, I'm going to teach you a Chiddush. It's from Rav Yitzchak Kaduri. I used to do this myself when I was single. I saw this in the book of Yosef Shani. I used to see it. I saw it in his book. I was your age probably when I saw this. I used to do it all the time. Every day I used to do it. 100, because I'm not like those people that you do it one time. You have to see right now one time. How many things we have to pay for? You have to open until it opens up. Like you have the jewelry, the necklace that gets tied up, the gold, the pendant. How long does it take to open that pendant up? Oh my, you need the tweezers and the this and until you open that thing up over there. You need a lot of zikuyah. There are Sakhalurs that read 113, 114, 115, 116, 117. You're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna get to 118. 118, there is a pasuk, Anna Hashem Hoshiana. Before you say Anna Hashem Hoshiana, make sure the pennies or the dimes are clean. You're going to say Anna Hashem Hoshiana, throw a penny or a dime into the water. Like this 70 times you're going to do. Anna Hashem Hoshiana, Anna Hashem 70 times. After you finish all 70 times, you throw it into the water. And then you finish the Mizmor, 118. Finish it up. And then take a cup, take from the water. Say Sha'akol Niya Bidvaro, if you're thirsty, obviously. Drink it, and from the rest of the water, wash your face and your hands. And Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach, you're going to open up the kesher that's on you, if there is a kesher, and you're going to be zocheh, if not to find a zivug, but to be chotef. A zivug like Bnei Binyamin, and of course, another big sigulat zivug is to know all Hilchot Shabbat. To learn all Hilchot Shabbat, because the wife is the seventh, Batsheva, Bechinat HaShabbat. Whoever learns Hilchot Shabbat is going to find the Bechinat of his Batsheva. He should be Zocheh, Lezivug Agun. You have started buying the Shulchan Aruch. They have it in English, by the way. And may Hashem Yitbarach bless everybody over here, Bezivug Agun, Parnasat Tova, Shefa Rav, Yishod Gedolot, V'kol HaBrachot, V'kol HaTzlachot, V'kol HaYishurot. Today is a very special day. It's the 21st day of Cheshvan. And I don't want to tell you why it's a special day, but it's a special day for me specifically. So Hashem should bless your eyes with all Shemirat HaBrit Milah with the Hashem Yitbarach. May Hashem bless you with Kol HaBrachot and Kol HaYishurot. May this Limud Torah be L'Atzlachat all the sponsors. May Hashem bless us all with Shana Tova U'Mezukah. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.